fix that. What's up? This is Faces of 518 podcast, episode 7, with your boy DJ Wiz Hoffa. I got a special guest in the building today. This young man's about to take the professional boxing world by storm. So far, he's a 2-time Silver Gloves champion, 3 times consecutive Junior Olympic champion, 2-time USA National Championship, and he also had 6 international medals for the country USA, 3 gold, 2 silver, bronze as well, and he's 3-0 in his professional career, and he said he's about to be 4-0. Welcome my man, Mazzi Goldston in the building, and his father, Ty Goldston. Yeah, let's clap it up, let's clap it up, let's clap it up. Yeah, I'm happy to have y'all here, man. So, Coach.
Yes, sir.
I know you from the music world, but sometime I found out like that you used to box, and then I started seeing you training people, and you got a gym going. And talk to me a little bit about your background in boxing.
Overall, we just come from a boxing family, both sides. My mom's side, all her brothers was boxers. My father's side, he boxed, his brothers boxed. So it was like a generational thing. You know, me, all my brothers, we trained in the gym, had a few fights. Never really took it to the level like my son is fighting like internationally, going overseas, but, was, a good a family upbringing with boxing. So like, I've always been around the gym since, 5, 6 years old. And I say about 15 years old, I started taking it serious. When my son started, wanting to box, wanting to come to the gym, I took it more into the coaching aspect where, I put the gloves down and put my time into him.
Yo, and guess what, man? It turned out to be, that's a good decision you made right there. Mazzi, how long have you been boxing?
I've been boxing since I've been 8, so it's going on year 10. So it'll go on year 11, February next year.
Was it something that like Pops had to like coax you with, or was you like naturally into it?
I was naturally into boxing. I was playing football at the time too, so I was playing actually both sports all the way up to high school, and then I took the decision that I was gonna take boxing serious. So I was taking both of them serious. Like I was good at both of them equally, I think. But at the time, my dad was like, "Listen, we taking off now. So let's choose one and let's make it happen." And I chose boxing, and that's probably the best thing I could have did.
As far as, because I noticed that you guys have a gym. There's a lot of other boxers that your father trains as well as yourself, and they all seem to be being successful on their own level. So for the community of Albany, I feel like y'all really did something great. Ty, do you think there's gonna be more champions coming behind Mazzi?
Man, every year you're gonna see somebody different. Like last year, Mazzi made his pro debut. He's fought on ESPN 3 times. We also have another fighter out of our stable that's currently also fighting big fights as well. Will Madera, he's fighting on Triller in October at Madison Square Garden. We have another fighter, is Breon Carruthers. He's fighting on Fox in November. So we got a stable full of, and then we got a bunch of guys about to debut, meaning they're gonna make their pro transition, and I think that's when people are gonna be able to see really how solid the camp is, because it's not like Mazzi's like people see Mazzi as he's my son, he's the main attraction. So when they look at it like yo, but they don't know that after the act, he got guys that's coming right up behind him, like I said, year after year, that's getting trained under the same conditions with the same trainer, doing the same regimen. And as long as they want to be successful, they will be.
With all the things that we've heard about the sport of professional boxing and how shady it could be, we've heard a lot of the horror stories from the Mike Tysons and people that made a lot of money and that ended up broke. What's really your financial plan, and what what do you have in place to make sure that your son don't basically get jerked in the boxing game?
Well, first of all, a lot of people who come into it, a lot of them don't really come into a situation like I want to say like they come out with the best. Like you come out with the best promoter, the best management at a young age, and right now the things that we focus on is saving his money. Still, and ways to make money off of boxing besides boxing. You know, the actual fight isn't the only way you make money. You make money off of merchandise. You make money off of other sponsorships, endorsements. So teaching him those avenues right now, he's learning how to make more money than the average boxer would even think about making their first 5 fights. So he's already on the right track, to having financial stability.
Mazzi, do you have like a regular life? Like being so dedicated to this boxing game and everything that you had to do to get yourself where you at now, you obviously can't. Do you have like a normal teenage life, or is it slightly different and boxing is first and then that's second?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Growing up, I had to sacrifice a lot of things. So, I will have a regular life, but it's not as regular as you would think. Sometimes you couldn't go out have fun because you got a tournament, and I couldn't go out with my friends because I probably got to lose weight. I couldn't go out to eat with my family because I got to cut weight for a fight. So I would say like I could balance a regular life, but most likely I have to balance it like after the fight. I have my fun after the fight. So I could say yeah, I live a regular life, but not all the time.
I think basically we just learn how to balance it. And sometimes it was like, for me it was like, look, you can do those other things you want to do, but if you want this, it's like you got to pick and choose what you really want. And I think he's been able to create a fine line for, what's the fun part of it and what's the work part. When it's time to lock in for camp and we got to make weight, he's good at putting everything together the way he's supposed to. So I feel like he's learned how to adapt to the system and what needs to be done. So watching him come up, when he was young, he wanted to play football and box for years, up until he was about, I want to say, 15. You know, up until he was about 15, he wanted to do both. And I think that it was hard because he wanted to do more than one workout. He wanted to leave the boxing gym and he wanted to go to, the football, leave football and come to the boxing gym as soon as he left practice. And this was like an everyday thing for years. Like he would do 2 workouts and was, starting running back. The coaches at Albany High was, tight when I, pulled him off the team.
I seen some tapes.
Word up, so.
Really? So, I mean, boxing is obviously his first love.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I started playing football first, so I fell in love with football first. But boxing became my first love. So like it took more. Like football, it's a team sport, so you got a team behind you. Or boxing, right. You got a team behind you too, but it's only you in that ring.
In the ring, exactly.
So I think boxing, I became more loved in boxing because I became more in love with boxing because I rely on myself a lot. So I feel like in that ring, like me and my team, my small team in that ring, I think that's just the best what it could be. So like I love playing football, but it's a team sport, and then you got an individual sport. So you had a team relying on you, and then you could rely on yourself. I feel like if you rely on yourself more, you get more stuff done. So that's how I really took it.
When I see you in the ring, it's obvious like that, your defensive prowess is definitely reputable. Like you're a great defensive boxer, and most would probably say you remind them of Mayweather when it comes to the defense. I want to know what boxers, what tapes, who do you study in the film? Like, coming up, like who did your father tell you that these are the boxers that you need to study and watch?
So my dad always told me, don't study one boxer, study many. So I take my style from many fighters. So coming from Sweet Pea, the head movement from Sweet Pea, the guard from Winky Wright, the defensive smartness from Floyd, um, the legs from Sugar Ray, the speed from Sugar Ray.
Mm.
So it's many. I feel like it's many a guys in my style, not just one.
I love this. You could tell. See, because I'm big on part of the reasons why I do this show is so like, the generation of right now can understand like
And I feel
where
like,
we came from.
and I feel like, I think I'm a defensive fighter first. I think defense before offense because if you got defense and you can't get hit, what can that open up for him? Nothing. Now, if he's opening up trying to hit you, he's leaving himself open plenty of times for you to open up for him. So I think I'm a defensive guy first, and I capitalize on my offense like that. But don't get me wrong, I'm a man of many game plans, so I could switch it up whenever I have to. So
I think most boxing fans don't understand that like boxing is like a game of chess, meaning like they want to see action. They don't understand the quality of how, like how great it is to be a defensive fighter where it's like if I don't gotta get hit, why am I gonna let you hit me? Like why is that looked at as running or, why?
I think in the boxing world, like people like we got two type of fans. You got the people inside of boxing that knows what he's doing, and the fans that's watching it for the excitement. So you got the fans that want to see knockouts. They want to see brawl for brawl, and then you got the real boxing fans that saying, you know what? He's boxing smart. He's in there hitting and not getting hit. He's winning the fight off of what he's doing in the ring, not off of playing off the crowd. So I think it's two different things you could see in boxing.
And I feel like when you fighting, depending on the opponent you're fighting, the style that you fight for that fight is the things you work on in training camp, the things that you drill your fighter on. So if we know we fighting a certain kind of guy, and let's just say we're not the stronger guy in the fight, we got other ways to beat this guy if it's not by strength, by tactic. So it's really understanding what fight needs to be fought to win. Like the last guy we fought, he was 3-1 with 3 KOs. So that mean everybody he beat, he knocked out. So we knew that he was a strong dude. He was a grown man, 31 years old. We knew that we could clearly outbox him, and if the knockout showed up, we would go for it. But other than that, we were going out to put that W on the record, and knowing that he was 17, 18 turning pro. So look at the time frame that he has to grow until his full man strength and his power. It's nothing to do with ego. It's about building a fighter the right way with the right team. And I get people that call me and say, "Yo, Mazzi could have did this. He could have knocked this guy out. He could have did all of his fights. He could." And I probably could have said, "Yo, just go out here and." But who knows what he could have ran into, So it's like being smart. And when they want to see the dog, they'll see the dog come out. When it's time, when we got to go out and go get somebody, it's just press the button. And like they seen in the second fight, he went out there and he fought a completely different fight than the first fight. So it's like it's every corner is being covered, and we work hard. We have another trainer with us, Jarek Jones, as well. My father, Benjamin Goldston, guys that help out on different thing. And my father, he's one of them guys that he might not be as vocal, but he's one of them guys that he would rather show you than tell you.
Right.
I'm gonna show you what I mean. So big on conditioning, big on defense, head movement. Those are the things that are, you can say, are generational too, because we all were defensive fighters, good defensive fighters, but offensive fighters as well. So I feel like Mazzi has. Just imagine your son being to learn everything you learned at a later age in life. He get to learn before he's 14 or 15. He learned all of that. So the things you discovered at 30, 35, or whatever, he gets to learn that so early in life. And that's part of the reason of his success, because he's able to take our experiences and work off of those and become a 14-time national champ, 6-time overseas medalist, 3-0 as a pro. He's been in Sports Illustrated. And the people around here don't really know. Not everybody. Some people know, but they don't really know. They know he's pro now, but they don't know the accolades up until this point.
Right.
We've been putting in work. So for the last, I'm gonna say in 2015, he won his first national championship, and he was winning them ever since. So I kind of knew that I would have to turn him pro at an early age, or he would have been one of those guys that had like 400 fights. If I would have waited till he was 20, and you can burn a guy out like that sometimes. So
Kane, can you tell Jay I got two people at the door?
Yep.
Sorry. What's your morning regimen? Like, to be at your level, what does it take for you to do every day to stay in this type of shape?
Well, you get up. We run. Then we probably have like a 12 o'clock workout, a boxing workout, and then we'll have probably like a 6 o'clock strength and conditioning, and that's probably 6 days a week. We only got 1 day off, Sunday, and that's probably every week. Every week.
Last year sometime, I saw y'all out in Houston with the legendary Jay Prince. For those who don't know Jay Prince, he's a very important man in the world of hip hop music. He's the person responsible for the Ghetto Boys. Some say he's responsible for Drake. He's a very powerful executive in music, and I understand that he's into boxing heavily. He has a gym out there. He has fighters under him. So what were you guys doing out there?
That's my manager, actually. So I'm signed to him. Signing to him was probably like the biggest thing for me. I always wanted to be signed to that was like me coming out the amateurs. I was like, that's who I want to sign with. So when that came true, I was like, man, that's surreal. He pulled me in. We had talks. And he said, yo, I like you, man. I'm going to sign you. And it been fireworks ever since.
That's what's up. So that's one of the moves that led you to be able to get the fights you getting now?
Yeah. I signed to him July last year. And then I signed with Top Rank not too long after that. So he brought me to Top Rank right after that. And I've been on with him ever since.
Is he currently managing any title holders, or are you gonna be the first one?
He manages right now Shakur Stevenson. He gonna fight for a title October 23rd. He is recently a world champion too. He also has Jared Anderson, Big Baby, the heavyweight. He has FA. He has Tony Yoka. He has a lot of guys. He has the Olympians that just came out from the 2021 Olympics. Duke Reagan, Troy Isley. He has a great stable.
It seems like y'all gonna be in the tradition of breeding young boxers. So as a business, when the money get big, can we expect y'all to open up a facility here and try to keep
Definitely.
the 518 boxing tradition?
Definitely. I always wanted to give back to the community that helped me get to where I'm at today. So I'm definitely gonna open up many gyms in the 518 and many more things other than gyms. I also want to open up restaurants, laundromats, shopping centers. So definitely gonna get back to Albany.
Got your head on, man. I love to hear that. So Ty, I was saying earlier that I knew you from the music world, and you were engineering and producing, and you had your own recording studio at one time. What's going on with the music? Is that something you gonna leave behind now because you get into the big bag? Or
not well.
I think he told me he coming back.
So I'm gonna tell you what happened. Right in the midst of all of that, I was still up in Westgate till about 2016, 15. That's right when he started peaking and progressing. So the layoff was kind of it was a good thing because it was when I took the break, it was how the music thing was, and so much grinding with it, and the long days and long nights, and a long time, man. I put in hours. So when I started doing the same thing, anything I do, I gotta go all in, and the boxing took so much time, but it's at the end of the day, look what plug I ended up with. How ironic is that we ended up with,
with Jay Prince.
that's ironic. So in that aspect right there, I feel like sometimes when you grind, it's just like keep grinding, keep grinding. Even though I might have put it on hold, I got closer to the plug.
Right.
So
That's true, man. I'm interested to see how you transition that. Obviously, y'all got the world in front of you right now. It's just about taking it. So, under his contract, how many fights a year will he be fighting?
Right now, I think I'm probably under a great contract because like they moving at like my pace. They not gonna like move me too fast. They moving at the pace I want to be moved at, and I think that's coming with like my manager. Like he's letting them know like I'm young, so let's move him at a correct pace. It's no need to rush to a title shot because I'm currently 18 right now. It's no need to move so quick and mess myself up down the line. So I think they moving me at a great pace right now.
it's three to four fights a year right now. So October 30th, we fight our first 6 rounder. Won't be four, it'll be six now. So we get to move up on the card a little bit, and each fight we just hope to improve and show people the skill level that they looking for. Like
Each fight, I also want to show like I feel like each fight I had so far, I show different things in each of those fights, and I'm gonna continue to do that.
That's what's up, man. Going back to the music, if you were to put yourself in position, would you be searching for 518 talent?
indeed, so. I
Okay.
mean, I'm still. They don't know. I'm still kind of sitting back, just looking. I just ain't saying nothing. I pay attention to it all still. I kind of always, still want to know who's doing what. You know, I believe 518 got some of the best talent, man. When it comes down, like I know some producers that's just crazy out here. I know some artists that's crazy that, like when the time is right, I would push that button. You know what I mean? So it's just like securing one bag first before we run to the next bag. I'm just trying to make sure we secure this bag. Make sure it's what it is, and I feel like we already in position in the 518 now to where people starting to look at our talent different now.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, well, damn, that's Albany, New York. That's like, So I think we just kind of got to kickstart what we got going, and everybody else will really follow. And I don't mean like on the, I mean when the whole city get behind somebody and push them, because that's the one thing that hasn't been done yet. We have never really gotten together to push that artist that's saying, yo, look, it's his turn. Let's all get behind.
Right.
Everybody got somebody that, well, that's my man and he rap, or this is my man and he rap.
Right.
Let's all get behind something and push it big, whether it be a boxer, whether it be a rapper, an actor, whatever. I just feel like that unity is going to make other people want to, if we go push, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's US Bay, Ready Raw, whoever we push, whoever it is, everybody need to get behind them, push them, and make it a collective thing that we doing rather than it be in pieces, man. Because, like I said, we got some of the best. I'm talking about bars for in talent. Come on, man, I could name them all day.
You definitely in line about that. One thing, maybe last year sometime, I saw you make a post about Mazzi asking you why it seems like the city isn't behind him. I'm just going verbatim. That wasn't exactly what you said, but something to that effect. So I want to know like why is it that why Mazzi do you feel like the city ain't behind you? Or maybe you just don't notice that they behind you.
Now I think the city is behind me, but it's certain. I think it's certain people in my community in this city that's grew up with me that helped me mold into the first boxer I am today. That isn't currently behind me. That's basically what I'm saying. I know the city of Albany's behind me, but people in the boxing community in Albany most likely are 100% not behind me, and I could say that. And it's sad, but it's hate. I know it comes with hate in this game, so it maybe is hate, but I don't know. But I know for a fact there's people in this boxing community in Albany. Not like my gym. We're a whole. We're behind everybody that's in there that fight. But there's other boxing gyms in Albany, and I'm not trying to throw any shots, but there's not support with everybody in Albany, and that's kind of bad. We all grew up in the same gym, and everybody's not behind each other, and I think that should be a problem. So
On all levels of everything around Albany, the music game, sports, I could say the same thing. Like I said, one of the reasons why I started this podcast is so that 518 can know who our greatest attributes are. Who are the people that can put Albany on the map? Who are the people who actually also are pioneers and did things that laid the path for those who are doing certain things today? So this show is about giving everybody their flowers. So I just wanted to make sure that forget the world championship just based on what you've already done. As a boxer in the city of Albany, that should be respected on the highest level already.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that you fought for our country and won a gold medal.
yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? That's not everyday stuff. So, like I said, man, like going forward, what weight class are you fighting in right now?
Super lightweight.
And is it your plan to eventually go up in every weight class and dominate like some of the guys at the
Eventually,
past?
I will move up. And I'm 18. I'm still growing. So right now, we're gonna try to stay at super lightweight for as long as I can. But it's probably gonna be a time. I'm still growing. Probably will grow, and it's probably I'll move up to the next weight, and then I definitely do want to be the youngest world champion, and I definitely want to be a multi-time world champion in different weight classes. So I want to definitely have that done before my career is out.
And coach, now that y'all officially in the game because he's a professional now, have you gotten to see the politics of the sports world on a different level now? Like
Most definitely.
now that you deep inside the game, because before you was outside looking in. So now that you win, you see some of the plays that's being made, and are you like, oh, is this really how it works? Like, have you had any particular situations that let you know that how important, I guess, being connected, who you're connected with
Let me
is?
tell you, like, I have different fighters with different promoters. So when you have a good promoter and a good manager, you know when you got a manager that ain't doing what he's supposed to. So yeah, it's made it easy to identify, you know what I mean, what to stay away from, the red flags. Like I'm very sharp. Like, so when I get something and when I run through it, it's kind of easy for me to know who's who and what's what. Like, from the short time that he's been professional, we've made some major moves, not with just him, but some other fighters as well. And like I said, it's easy to see, we want to stay away from that guy right there. We not messing with him. And, we rather be over here with him because this contract is legit. You know what I mean? You start to know what to look for. It's no different than the music industry. The same kind of thing. You know what I mean? You know when you're looking at that 360 deal. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Hell yeah.
So,
Shout out to Big Talk and Speedy too, man. That's my peoples. My last two interviews, we've been talking about the violence that's been going on in the city of Albany, and I just been kind of wanting to get everybody's take on it, and what they feel like is the cause of this madness, and how we could come together in the 518 as a community to kind of, bring the violence down a little bit. What do you think is actually happening out here? And Mazzi, you being a young man too, you see what a lot of your peers out here are going through. So you guys got any insight on what it is and what we could do?
I mean, I think the stop the violence thing that the group of people putting together throughout the communities is perfect. I think we need to push it a little more. But I think the communities, like, I think we got a Troy stop the violence, or Albany stop. Like, I think we need to push those a little more than they're getting pushed. I think they actually need to be on the news a little more to stop the violence. Like, we can actually stop the violence in Albany. I just don't think we're doing enough.
well, I'm gonna be I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. I was building with my little brother, and we was just talking, and we was just speaking on, back in the day there was more things to do. There was more community, the uptown downtown thing. Do you remember we had Camp Opportunity back in the day,
Yeah.
right? So if you went to Camp Opportunity, 9 out of 10 times you knew the dudes from the other side of town. Y'all mingled back then. Y'all had to. They cut all of the programs to where these kids don't know each other no more, unless once you meet them in high school, then y'all, you feel me? And that's at the age to where you already live. So I feel like the killing all of those programs that they say that ain't no funding for is part of the reasons for the violence. There's no real resources. You got certain brothers doing stuff with the basketball, keeping kids out of trouble. You got me with the boxing. But when you look at the programs in the summer, what everybody doing in the summer now? Like we got to figure it out, and I don't feel like it's enough programs in place that the kids can go to that's actually solid. We need that camp opportunity back for real. We need that back. So when these kids get to 14, 15, they know who each other are already, and they got that certain respect. You got certain guys that they beefing with they guys that's hanging with their cousin. You know what I mean? So I feel like the community has let the politic part of it push out the programs, and if they are, we have to find ways of pulling them back in, even if we got to do it ourselves. So I think it's overall the programs. There's nothing to do. You know what I mean? With the community centers that they can go to and do the different activities, they're not there no more. So of course we're gonna get a lot more violence than we've been getting in the past. You know.
And even someone like yourself, I mean, you obviously have more boxers under you other than Mazzi, so you've been actually keeping some of these young kids off the street too. Do you feel like their parents are really appreciative that you're keeping these boys off the street? They could be doing, a lot worse.
I mean, I've been blessed. I have a solid like team with me. Like most of the parents that I'm with is like they've been with me for a while, and we like family. They support it. So I've been blessed with, like I said, a good bunch that know what I do. Like we've been all over the country. Some of these kids been all over the world with me. So it's like it's not just like I'm your boxing coach. I raise some of these kids like literally. Like you meet a kid when he's 14, he gonna look different when he's 24. You might not even recognize him. There's some kids that I train, and when they come up to me, I don't recognize who they are at first because when I was training them, they was young. Now they grown. So it's like, a lot of these fighters that come up and come into my gym, you end up raising a lot of them. So.
Do you think it's harder to keep them there in the teenage years? You think they come across more distractions?
Most definitely. And that's what I've been good with, keeping a lot of my guys that like Speedy is like a day one. Like he's been there from day one since the funny thing is people don't know this. I mean, Speedy, the first day Mazzi ever went to the gym, Speedy was already boxing probably for like a year. Like really? So Speedy's been around forever, like in boxing. Like so Speedy's been around forever. Like most of the guys that, like Jonathan, he's been around forever. All these guys, we've all been around each other. We all came up in the same gym. Will Madera, Abraham Nova. We all come from the same bowl. So.
Mazzi, what's like your personal bucket list for things you want to accomplish in the boxing game?
In boxing, all right. Personal bucket list. I want to be the first thing on my bucket list. I want to be the youngest world champion. So that's before 21.
You got to do, yeah.
So that's I
want.
want.
Tyson had that, right? That's his record.
Gervonta Davis currently got it.
Oh, really? Okay.
I want to be a champion before 21. After that, I want to unify the division. And then that's 3 belts. So then after that, obviously I'm gonna be undisputed. That's all the belts. Then I want to go up, grab probably 2 or more belts at 47. And if I get bigger, I'll go do it at 47. And then I want to go up. I want to end my career around 160. So I want to accomplish a world champion at 140, 147, 154, 160.
I like when he talk like this.
Yo,
'Cause
this
I know
man
how
got
hard,
a plan.
I know
yo,
how hard I gotta.
love it.
I know how
I'm
hard I
saying,
gotta
like-
push him too. So when he talk like this, I be like, yo, remember what you said in the interview? So this is why we doing this.
And so the unification, is it still IBF, WBC, and WBA?
Yeah, currently, well, the boxing commission is going. They're canceling some belts. They're only gonna cancel like the interms. So we still gonna have 4 belts, but right now, so many belts in boxing, you don't know who's a champion. So they're gonna cut them belts down and keep the 4 main ones. So
Right.
I think that's the best thing for boxing.
So I ran into you at CrossGates in the mall one day, and I was like, "What's up, champ?" And you was just mad humble. And so how do you keep the humility and now that you going to a higher level, do you see the difference in the way other people is treating you? Like how the girls is acting out here, like for the like what's the vibes right now?
I think ever since I turned pro, the vibes around Albany been like so good. Like I've been having so much love coming back from me. Yo, thank you. I appreciate what you're doing for the city of Albany. Like I want to put in boxing, I want to put Albany on a map. Like you got these boxing states, Philly, DC.
That's known for that.
They're known for boxing. I want to make boxing like I want them to know. All right, Albany got some guys out there. Like I want to make it known it's a boxing state now. So I just think what I'm doing right now and the people coming behind me, what they gonna do is just gonna be, because we got some guys in the gym starting even at the age of 13, 14 right now. Like Lil Marcus, I'll tell you right now, he's
problem.
next up. He's next up.
Marcus Williams, his dad was a pro boxer. Me and him fought together back in the day. His son is a whole. I'm saying a whole. It's like watching Mazzi as a youngin again, like that. He's that level. He's bad.
He's next out. Shout out Lil Marcus. Shout out Lil Speedy. Lil Rainier Walker.
We got a camp.
Yeah,
man.
we got
and there's nobody that we could really like. Every guy that I got, I believe in 100%. Like. I got the kind of guys in the gym, and he knows that if he's not working hard, he could be outworked. That's the kind of guys we got in the gym. He could have if he not working his hardest, he be like they gonna outwork you. They gonna push you to the limit. So
I think we expanded because now, like our team definitely expanded because now we just don't got local guys. We got guys from around the U.S., even outside the country, saying, "Hey, yo, can I come out to Albany train with you guys? Even move out here." And train with us. So I think like we doing our thing when it come down to the boxing in Albany.
With all this training you do every day, you said 6 days a week and then you get a day off. How hard is it to keep up the academics? Because I know that's still got to be an important part.
I graduated currently last year, so the academics was good. You know, my dad, like he said, yo, you want to box, you got to finish school first. We put school first, boxing after, and that was it. And even when I was playing football and boxing, it was school, boxing, football. Sports always come after school. And that's how we balanced it. We did homework before practice. We even did homework after practice. We did homework on the days I had off. We did, like, school always came first. And I graduated, and I'm here now.
That's dope, man. Plug the next fight. What's the date?
October 30th, Madison Square Garden. You don't want to miss it. It's my first six.
Garden, man.
It's my first 6 round. I'm fighting back home in New York. You don't want to miss it. I promise. I think I'm about to I'm gonna put on the show for New York. I'm home. I definitely want all my supporters to come out to this fight. Y'all wouldn't want to miss this. This one gonna be fireworks. I promise. This one gonna be really fireworks. So,
how many fights generally does somebody at the pro level got? Like, what are the type of things that start to put you in contention? Is it the record? Is the record solely?
It's the fights you take. I think currently, I think I'm different from any of the guys that turn pro because people would say, "Yo, you taking tough guys early," which I am, and I know the consequences that come with that, but I know the rewards that come with it too. I take these tough guys early, 15, 14 fights, I'm in the line for a title shot. And that's already hitting my bucket list, what I said, being the youngest world champion. So around 15, 14 fights, I might be 20, and I'll be fighting for my first world title, and I'm pretty sure I'll be ready for it.
was definitely gonna be ready for it. I'll make sure of that.
Have any of the greats seen him fight yet? They watching him?
I mean, his name out there, man. That's what his name is definitely out there in the buzz. If you like, but see, this is the thing that I think that people want to know. They're like, yo, he can box, he's slick, he get that. Can he punch? Does he have the knockout power? If you knew him from the amateurs, you would know that he got the bite down too. And I like to say, it's me really that has him on the leash being smart, because sometimes if you send your fighter out there, you can make him reckless. I've seen a lot of guys that had the skill to go out there, but they fought the wrong fight.
He's a patient boxer.
And that was a lot of this is like the stuff that we work on to be disciplined and sharp with our defense and knowing what to do in certain situations. And like the more rounds he go, the better he's gonna be. The more rounds the fight go, because we train for conditioning. We box. We don't go out there to try to end the fight in one round. If we can, we will. But we look to capitalize on a fighter's mistakes,
I think his poise will take him a long way, because, a lot of the fights that I watched, you could see the difference in his poise as opposed to his opponents. He seems like he's able to stay cool and in any type of situation and be able to come out on top. That's an important quality to have as a boxer. So, man, y'all been doing a great job, bro. I just wanted to bring y'all on here and make sure that I could let the city know about the fight and everything that this young man have been doing, man. And kudos to you as well, because obviously if he didn't have you in his corner, what most young men need right now is a strong father in their corner, man. You know what I mean? So I don't want to give you like points that you're supposed to get, but these days we gotta kind of recognize that, man, because we don't got enough fathers, and we don't even have enough men that's out here mentoring other young men.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So
he's been a great mentor, not only like dad and coach, but like mentoring me throughout. Like sometimes he could speak to me as in like a friend, but also he could speak to me as my father and my coach. And his lessons teaching me about life is just making me 100% way more smarter.
Because that's what I was going to ask you. How does the thin line of separating the two, like because he's your coach, your dad, and up until this point, he's kind of been managing you before you got in the situation with Prince. So do you always know which one is speaking to you?
Yeah, he know how to flip the switch. Like, he knows how to be coach, then he know how to be dad. Like, if I'm sick, he dad all the way. He's not even coach. He's not even worrying about boxing. If I'm sick, he's straight dad. If I get hurt, straight dad. Like, so I think he know how to turn it off, turn it on. So it works perfect.
I know a while back, Jared Jones had told me, he said, yo, when you become a coach, you have to learn how to wear many hats. You got to wear, sometimes the kid might not be your kid, but it might be another kid in the gym. Sometimes you got to play that father role. Sometimes you got to play that mentor. So learn how to step up in certain situations, and because boxing is like life. Like I always tell people, it's like in real life. In boxing, what happens when you put your hands down? You get punched in the face.
Facts.
It's like that in real life. So I try to take all my fighters and have more than just I'm your coach. Like I got to be able to deal with them mentally too. Sometimes you got to be that psychiatrist when you're dealing with a fighter. They all have different mental blocks. You might have a fighter that he got all the tools he needs, but he doubts himself. So I got to know how to deal with that kind of fighter too, that knowing that he has all the things he needs, but he doesn't believe in it. So when you become a boxing trainer or a boxing coach, you have to also be able to play those different roles, because you're going to deal with the different psyches of different people. You're going to deal with, somebody that come in the gym and they had a family problem at home, and you got to still know how to pull out the most of them. You know what I mean? And I've had a few fighters that they might not have had the support from, at home, but the support from the gym was like a second family. So it all, it all worked together. So like I said, I've been fortunate with a good team around me for years, and we've been making a lot of noise. And I'm starting to see now that I'm gonna use our old word, we in heavy demand. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. Heavy demand studios. Wow.
Shout out to Gus Beats.
Anybody else y'all want to shout out? And after you do that, Hit us with your social medias where the people can find you.
I want to shout out first my mom's. She been a huge support since I turned pro. I want to shout out my teammates. They been here from the start. They helped me get here. I want to shout out my manager Jay Prince. Shout out my promotional team Top Rank. Thank you for moving me right. I want to shout out my pops, and I also want to shout out you for bringing me on here, and I appreciate you. You can follow me on Instagram at Real King Mazzi, and that's RealKingMazzi. That's Real King Mazzi. That's what I'm mainly on Instagram.
Okay. And shout out the fight date and the place and time once again for the people.
Like I said, October 30th, man. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be fireworks, MSG, back home in New York. You don't want to miss this one, October 30th.
And what's the gentleman's name you fighting?
Right now, we're looking for an opponent, but that really don't matter. This training ain't going to stay the same.
All right, man. All right, well, going forward, I wish y'all all the success, all the luck, man. Put the city on the map. Make sure you knock that bucket list off, and you making the the city proud already right now. And hopefully, I just go on to do bigger and bigger things, and maybe you could get to a point where you could help curb some of this violence in the city and. Really set some things up because we crunched up here. They don't want to allot us a lot of money for a lot of things. So, if for certain things to happen, some certain things we gonna have to make happen. You know what I'm saying?
I got couple more shout outs. I want to shout out my grandfather, Hussein and Tyreek. Those my guardian angels right there. Shout out them, and I think I want to say one more time, October 30th. It's going to be fireworks, MSG. You don't want to miss it.
Ain't nothing else to say, man.
Nope.
To all my fan base out there, thanks for tuning in again. This is Faces of 518, episode 7. Got my man King Mazzi in the building. Kane hold me down on the boards. Coach Goldston, thank you so much for bringing them through and making this happen. And we out of here.